Part A, I've even got little diagrams here. I had a beaker. I put 6 molar nitric acid in that beaker, and it was clear. And I had and I made up these numbers, okay? But I had 0.2 grams of my solid copper, and it looked like this. So I'm literally just drawing a little picture. That's what I've got. And so during that first part, right after I did that, I've got a little diagram showing I got my little piece of copper here, and I had these bubbles. My liquid was turning blue, and it was generating heat.
So we can draw these in our thing too?
Yeah, I want one, like before you leave this class, I want to know that you thoroughly can go step by step and really show an understanding of something. Does that make sense? Well, I'm going to have to move kind of quickly, okay? All right. And so an explanation of what happened, that's just going back to the equation. All right? I had solid copper. There's my solid copper wire. I had 6 molar nitric acid, and you know that means that you have 6 moles of nitric acid per a liter of solution. That's what that means. And this was clear. When I put it in there, the reason that the solution turned blue is because that blue stuff was this copper 2 nitrate. The bubbles were these nitrogen 4 oxide bubbles, or the nitrogen dioxide bubbles. And then I also had water here, and I just didn't have room to write it. But do you see what I'm saying here? Is I'm saying this blue was this right here. I'm saying these bubbles was this right here. Okay? Now, the end of part A was the beginning of part B. I had, when part A completed, I had nothing but this clear blue solution. And that clear blue solution was that copper 2 nitrate. Then what I did, I added sodium hydroxide to it. The reason that I needed to add that sodium hydroxide was because I needed to neutralize that acid.
So you're basically explaining what happens in each cell?
Yeah. Okay? So I'm going back and I'm looking at what I did. I'm looking at every single equation, and I'm telling why I did it. Okay? So if you'll notice, the sodium hydroxide, it was 6 molar also. So we had the same ratio, 6 molar nitric acid to 6 molar sodium hydroxide. So they could cancel each other out or neutralize each other. So at this point, this was a neutralization reaction. The copper was not affected with this neutralization reaction unless we went over. Remember, if we added too much of that sodium hydroxide solution, every time we put some of that sodium hydroxide in there, we got this blue precipitate, that dark blue precipitate.